It is my great pleasure to introduce the former artist known as Adrian Kovacs. Adrian Kovacs was a member of the amateur art society Akud Jedinstvo Unity in Belgrade, Yugoslavia between 1988 and 1991, during which time he participated in several group exhibitions organized for national holidays, like the New Year, March 8th, May 1st, and November 29th, which were usually held in lobbies and foyers. In 1989, his career took a new direction when he was invited to join the exhibition Jugoslovenska Documenta in Sarajevo, where he had a chance to meet some well-known artists, including Mladen Stilanovic and members of Irvin, with whom he then collaborated in the exhibition Moscow Portraits. The exhibition first took place in the Galeria Grada Zagreba in 1990, and then at the Mesna Galeria in Ljubljana, 1991. His last appearance was with the work Narcissus, 1991, at New Langton Arts in San Francisco, when he had an opportunity to exhibit again with Irvin. I pass the floor to you.
Thank you. I think I will start this with a small digression. This is a picture taken. Here. This is a picture taken yesterday during the break, while standing with a group in front of the Moderna Galleria. I noticed another group standing in front of the building across. In spite of all the differences, I couldn't help noticing some similarities between these two congregations. So, from here, we go some 25 years back in time and in a very different place called San Francisco in February 1991. These are some of the scenes from the streets of San Francisco. And one winter morning, the New Langton Arts the San Francisco Examiner appeared. In a San Francisco Examiner appeared an information about an exhibition of art group from faraway Yugoslavia named Irvin at the New Langton Art Gallery, which doesn't exist anymore. The exhibition was initiated and organized by Jane Finley, a video artist from California, who, as a Fulbright scholar, spent several months in Yugoslavia and became acquainted with that scene. The Examiner's article describes in detail the most recent works of Irvin, its ideological connotations, relations to Malevich, like in the paintings Kapital, Gravity Zero, Kapital, Fight Against Gravitation, exhibited here, Kapital, Public, Technical, and in fact the entire exhibition was titled Kapital, and we can see this magnificent display at the New Langton Gallery. In the same article is also mentioned another character named Adrian Kovacs, that accompanied Irvin in this show with the work Narcissus, which is described further in the article, but we won't read it now. It was exhibited in this corner of the gallery, and we can see installations of two monitors, two paintings on easel, and a copy of Malevich's self-portrait in the corner. The paintings were in fact self-portraits made by painting not a mirror reflection, but by the screen, the TV screen, or the picture from the TV screen, while the entire process was recorded on the video. So here, while we are looking at these paintings, we also see how they were painted. One was done in a way that camera was in front of the painter, and nothing was changing during the process. While here the camera is installed behind the painter, exposing the canvas as well, thus making an endless loop with never finishing the painting. So this painting, in fact, cannot be finished. While at the time, Adrian Group was already well known, but who was this Adrian Kovacs? We could find his name on this old watch with the Picasso signature reproduced in a contemporary publication with this explanation. However, there are no recordings of any collector named Adrian Kovacs from those years of early modernism, and most likely this description is not true. That watch is some kind of a fake. It is more probable that the name of itself came from two characters from the popular comic book Watchmen. Rorschach, real name Walter Kovacs, and on the left, this character, and Ozymandias, real name Adrian Veidt, indicating that he might have been some kind of a comic book character. And we also could find his name on this membership card issued by the Amateur Art Society Jedinstvo Unity, issued in Belgrade in 1988. Here we see it's also his signature. Those were already turbulent years in that part of Yugoslavia, with often public expressions of extreme nationalism like we see here. This amateur society was located in a small street in the center of town, and it had a window display filled with paintings. The exhibitions were usually held during the major holidays like New Year, March 8th, May 1st, 29th of November. And this particular exhibition, we could notice three black and white paintings on the left. Better student of art history would recognize that these are copies of well-known Cézanne's paintings. Here, like this. Here listed under the Kovacs name, in the exhibition that says that this is an exhibition of newly admitted members of this amateur society unity or Jedinstvo. And this is usual official cover for the catalog exhibitions. And in a few months later, in another show, Kovacs exhibit three self-portraits. We see on the right. Of course, these are not his, but again, copies of Cézanne's self-portraits. By some chain of events, these self-portraits appeared at the exhibition Slowenische Documenta that took place in Olimpijski Centar Skenderije and Galerija Grada Sarajeva, 1989, and on this page with the reproduction of the painting, we could find that Adrian Kovacs was born in Trbovlje, the birthplace of Leiber, in 29th of November 1950. The same year, first in Leningrad and then in Moscow, opens an exhibition of Kazimir Malevich, the first major retrospective in Soviet Union after his death. In Moscow, exhibition took place in the Tretyakov Gallery of the 20th century, and Adrian Kovacs went to Moscow to see the show. He, while walking on the Albert Street with his Malevich catalog, he saw in this underpass a group of street colleagues, his amateur artists doing portraits. This is a contemporary photo of the same site. And intrigued by the possibility to having his portrait taken together with the Malevich catalog, he accepted an offer and posed for a portrait. So the street artist was in fact doing a portrait of him, but also a copy of Malevich and a copy of Malevich's signature. And also this kind of a relationship brings up an issue of who is the author of this work. Is it the model or the painter? Usually we know that the model is not the... So during his 6th day in Moscow, Kovacs came every day and made a different portrait, posed a different artist. When he came back to Belgrade, he showed the portrait to his colleagues at the Amateur Society and suggested that they could make 6 copies of Malevich's 8 red rectangles. And they enthusiastically accepted the idea. So these are all 6 different copies of Malevich. When they finished the painting, Kovacs decided to make his black and white copies of these paintings. This is one. So we see these now copies of. Then he did copies of portraits, pastel portraits, and turning them into cell portraits. Thanks to Yugoslavian documenta mentioned in Sarajevo, Kovacs had established contacts with some well-known artists and art historians, like Mladen Stilinović and Branka Stipančić from Zagreb, Marina Grđinić from Ljubljana, Irvin Group, and Dejan Knez, a member of the library group from Ljubljana. And it seems that they liked the idea to do something in relation to the Moscow portraits and decided to take part in this endeavor. And Mladen Stilinović made 6 paintings of 8 red rectangles. Irvin did paintings inspired by the same Malevich work, in which were incorporated reproductions of portraits on a porcelain. You can see them here. This one here. Usually used on the gravestones to show the deceased. So these are the some of the Irvin paintings. Marina Grđinić and Diana Schmidt did a video inspired by these portraits. You have to see from the video. Dejan Knez made 6 copies of Malevich on sandpaper in reverse, as you can see here, and also in reverse a portrait of Adrian Kovacs. The project expanded further, including a conceptual artist from Zagreb who would occasionally appear as anonymous. He did the photos of these portraits and exhibiting them in reverse, while a young Ljubljana group wrestled Carlos Svojdolga, and I think one of the members, Oswald is here, produced very interesting anamorphic reliefs combining portraits and Malevich paintings in a series of, I think, 6 parts. All this became a material for the exhibition titled Moscow Portraits. It was organized by Branka Stipančić and Marina Grđinić, and New Collectivism designed this catalog based on the 1940 Leningrad publication. these images you can see some of the details. The introduction was done by Daniel Harms, and it was printed by the state publisher Art, and there is also a control coupon here that usually goes with this kind of publications, and some statements that are in fact here translated so you can see what they mean. All art is both a symbol and a claim. Whoever interprets symbols does it on its own responsibility. All art is completely useless. Art does not reflect light, but the observer. The purpose of art is to reveal itself and conceal the artist. This is the third Futurist Manifesto, Anonymous Artist Society in Berlin, 1939. And we can see how some of the illustrations in the catalog. And this was one of the later display of the catalog at the National Gallery here in Ljubljana. So, one early September morning, this Yugo, carrying all the works related to the Moscow portraits from Belgrade, began its journey to Zagreb. By that time, the political tensions were very high, and there were almost no traffic between these two cities. Scenes like these, known as the Timber Revolution or Balkan Revolution, could be seen on the roads of the Croatia in the areas with the Serbian population already at that time. That would soon escalate to this. It is in this atmosphere that the Moscow portraits works from Belgrade and Ljubljana and Zagreb were brought together in this building known as Galerija Grada Zagreba. And we could see here a short clip, and I don't know if I could show you a clip of the installing the I need another program. Anyway, we'll skip. On the clip are Mladen Stilinović and Miran Mohar hanging the exhibition. 75. So these are some of the views of the exhibition in Zagreb. Installation views. So this is, we can see now more of vegetable cars for dog. And this is Marina Gržinić and Aina Schmidt installation, combining images from the videos themselves, and the corner, as you can see in the background, as a background, the photo of the Malevich's last Futurist exhibition. These are now from the archive of the Zagreb Gallery, the photos. And we see here Mladen Stilinović giving the opening speech in front of his works, and some of the familiar faces. Borut, Ogelnik, Miran Mohar, Dan Knez. You would recognize probably others. And here we see finally Adrian Kovacs. Together with the NSK members, it seems that the connection of this amateur from Belgrade with Laibach was not only his birthplace, Trbovlje, but his appearance as well, which obviously was some kind of an imitation of what we could call the Laibach or NSK look, characteristic for the Laibach fans and followers. And these are some other, we see Marian Susovsky, the director of the late Marian Susovsky from the Zagreb. Also again Dejan and Makar. Goran Trbuljak and Susovsky. Goran Trbuljak happened to be one of these artists that appears as anonymous, so we suspect that he stands behind these portraits signed by anonymous. Tomislav Gotovac, again Marina Gržinić, Vlado Martek, Kovac, Roman, and Koščević, and Branka Stipančić, Gržinić, and Adrian Kovacs. And here the Edwin Group and Darko Pohoran and Željko Kipke from Zagreb, who wrote the only review in Zagreb about this exhibition. By the end of the exhibition in Zagreb, there was already organized plebiscite in Slovenia, and at the same time, it was the 10th anniversary of Laibach at Trbovlje. You see part of the scene from the concert, and already in January 17, there was the Desert Storm taking place. And in this section Culture, Kultura in Dnevnik, there is an announcement that in 21st of January there will be an exhibition of Moscow portraits in Mesna Galeria, which is here, still in town, working. And this is the opening of the exhibition. I think you recognize most of these characters. Tomáš Brejc, and Roman, Kovac, Stilinović, I think Dušan Mandić. This is a Gržinić-Schmidt installation, and then we see on the left Večslikar svoj dog, reliefs, Irvin. And we also see here one of the speakers to the right, Kreft, and Knez works here, just then Stilinović, Anonymous, Kovac, and back to Moscow portraits at the end. These were also covered by the press, one of those by Maja Megla. And the last appearance of Adrian Kovac was apparently at the Slovenske Atene when he exhibited the black and white copy of the iconic painting from Slovenian art history, Sejalec by Ivan Grohar. We see the painting here between these plants. And on this exhibit related to this exhibition, we will find that it seems that Adrian Kovac completely disappeared, and it seems that his disappearance act was quite successful, as we can notice on this label of the